Good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning here in Mushan, and as you can see, I'm in short sleeves. It is really warm here right now, but the weather is up and down. So last week it was 25.5 degrees Celsius. This week it's more like 15, but today it's really warm. So I managed to do short sleeves this morning and I feel perfectly fine in short sleeves. So I think the start of the summer might be starting to happen here. But also you have to be kind of careful this time of the year changing your clothes. Now I joined a little bit early, so I'm just going to wait for a few more people to join. I know how popular this session is. Color analysis is always really, really popular. And I think that what I'm going to talk about this morning gives you an opportunity to invite clients back for a refresh color analysis to further help them as they age. So it's a great opportunity. It is really a great opportunity. So I know many of you don't want to miss this. While we are waiting for a few more people to join, a couple of things going on at the moment that I'm involved in. One is an AICI event, which is being held next Wednesday. The details of that AICI event, which is around taking your styling services online, can be found in the Facebook group, or it can be found on my Facebook feed. So go in there and have a look at that event. It's going to be a very, very nice event where I'll be talking about how I help my clients take their styling services online. And it's going to be very practical. It is a paid event, but I guarantee you it'll be very well worth your while to attend. And the other thing that I have happening soon is my challenge, Get More Color Analysis Clients Challenge. I am hopefully going to be able to pop a link to that into the group right now while I wait for people to join. So this Get More Color Analysis Clients Challenge, this is either my third or my fourth time running it. I'm not 100% sure how many times I've run it, but it's been very popular and several people swear by it to get more color analysis clients. So this will help you get more color analysis clients in person or online. So it works for both. So right now I've just popped the link for the sign up form for that into the Facebook underneath this video. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching it anywhere else, I'll make sure that I put the link somewhere around the video so you can go in there and get it. So those are two events to look out for. Now, I do see eyes joining me now. I would love to know who's joining me this morning. In the comments, let me know who's joining me and where you are joining me from. I would love to know, because I want this morning's live to be more like a conversation rather than me sitting here pontificating, because I know many of you have many, many years of working with clients and you have a lot of work experience with aging clients, etc. So I want it to be more of a conversation this morning rather than me talking the whole time. So get yourselves in there into the comments and get yourself chatting. So what am I talking about this morning? I'm talking about aging gracefully and how to adjust your clients' color palettes as they age. I think this is an absolutely key skill to have. And I think it's a way of getting repeat clients and earning more money in your business. Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? And oftentimes, the repeat client business is the easiest business because the clients already know us, they're familiar with our style of work, they're obviously very into color analysis if they're coming back to have their colors done again. So it's a key income stream to add to your business. So this morning I'm going to be talking about generally why I think people's color analysis can change as they age. But also I'd like to know what your opinion is. there are many stylists out there who are very purist and they don't believe that people's color analysis can change over time. So I'd love to know in the chat, whether you're watching this on replay or whether you're live, do you believe that colors can change as you age? Or if you were designated a spring, will you always be a spring? If you were designated a winter, will you always be a winter? I would love to know in the comments. Just say, yes, I think somebody's colors can change, or no, I think people's colors cannot change. So I would love to know, because sometimes I see out there on the internet that, people use pictures from, when a child was 2 years old to do a color analysis along with current pictures, etc. So there's a wide spectrum of how people do color analysis. And also my belief is all the systems work. All of the systems work, but they do come down to the experience of the stylist, so we all know that we've had clients who've come and they've had to have their colors redone because they feel that their colors weren't done correctly the first time around. Now, it could be also that they've changed their hair color. It could be that, their opinion was very strong and they influenced the stylist. There are so many reasons why a stylist would designate a color season or a color tone to clients based on their personal relationship with the client, which nobody actually knows. Nobody actually knows what that relationship is or what the discussion around that is. Now, my belief is that your colors can actually change as you age. And I'm going to show you a case study this morning. I'm actually going to use my mom in that case study because obviously I know her very well for many years, and she's given me permission to use some of her pictures. So I'm going to talk about how her color analysis has changed over the course of the years. I also believe that I'm not a purist. I'll be the first to say I'm not a purist. I believe that we can all operate on a spectrum. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that color analysis is not an exact science. So, for instance, if you were a purist, you'd probably say, I am a true summer. I'm a true summer, true and true. There isn't a lot of elements of warmth in me. But as my hair color changes, I can go a little bit warm and a little bit cooler. When I was younger, I was definitely cooler. I was cooler because my hair was darker. I had much darker hair, and I would have said I was a cool summer and it was more exact. But as I have aged, I've lost some of the color out of my hair, and of course I've started coloring it. And the color can go a bit orangey, it can go a bit yellowy. And then often people say to me, you're more of a soft summer. I definitely think I'm closer to soft summer now compared to, so in other words, summer with a flow to autumn, maybe in some systems it might be called. It might be called soft muted in the tonal system. So I'm on a spectrum. It's not an absolute, it's not an absolute definite. And then some people want to change their colors because they don't want to be their particular season. So I saw a very, very good example of that in one of the color groups on Facebook in recent months, and that was that of Dita Von Tessa, that in real life she's actually a summer, but she has adjusted her hair color and her makeup to look very much like a winter, and nobody could argue that she looks like a winter. So oftentimes people want to adjust their colors on purpose. And I definitely do that when I want to look more dynamic, when I want to look like more professional. Oftentimes, I will adjust my colors to the winter side of the summer palette, or get as winter as I possibly can, because there's more contrast. I can create more impact. And so there are many, many reasons why people will want to adjust their palettes. Aging is one of them, but there are other reasons as well. So I just wanted to mention that up front. So I'm just starting to see a couple of comments come in. I am encouraging you to join in the conversation. Please say hello if you're here joining me live. Hey, Michelle, great to see you. Hey, Donya, great to see you. I think the skin changes a lot. It gets faded out. Could be their color palette change. Yes, oftentimes we lose color out of our hair and our skin for sure. Donya, there was a big discussion in my color analysis group around that actually. And we talked about the idea that maybe it's all the sunscreen that people wear in their face now. So, they don't have natural color from the sun in their face anymore because, they have used SPF for such a long time. But it can also be related to illness. There's many reasons why, we can lose color out of our skin. Eye color tends to be the most stable, but I have heard of cases where people's eye color has changed or one eye color changes. That is the reason why I think color analysis changes. If the aspects that we're looking at, like hair color, eye color, and skin color change, of course, the colors that suit you are going to change. And I'm sure you've all had clients who said, in the summer, I can wear much brighter colors. How many of you have had clients that have said that to you? In the summer months, I can definitely wear brighter colors because, I'm more tanned. And I look brighter, so I can wear brighter colors. And you can't argue with that. It's actually true. It's actually true. So Crothy, great to have you great to have you here. Crotty says the same color reflects differently daylight and evening light. It reflects differently in summer and winter. Yep, and people see color differently. Crotty said, I'm a winter, but I know a few warm colors look good on me. Yeah, and there's no reason why, a winter person can't wear warm colors in a certain way, as long as the majority of the outfit is in winter colors. I'm absolutely not a purist. You can see that from what I'm wearing here this morning. I on purpose went more towards a summer with a flow to autumn here this morning. So I have a salmon colored top on. I have some gold in my jewelry, but I've mixed it with cooler tones. And I'm absolutely not a purist, and I am a big fan of helping clients to look exactly the way they want to look and feel good about themselves. Let me see. Veronica's here. Great to see you, Veronica. I also use winter palette to show some dynamism, and it's easy. Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay. So, yeah, tell me in the comments, do you agree? If you're joining late, tell me, do you agree? Does people's color analysis change as they age? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments whether you're watching live or it's on replay. So I think the biggest difference possibly that makes a difference in terms of whether people's colors change or not is in their hair color. The hair color can really affect dramatically the color palette. Now, I often see, somebody like a winter move towards a summer. That is the most common things I see with winters. For a summer, they can often move towards a softer summer as they age. A spring might move towards a light spring palette. And an autumn will probably move toward a softer autumn, like an autumn maybe with a flow to summer, a more soft muted palette. But I've also seen more dramatic changes. Like I have seen autumns who have gone shock white, and they have higher contrast as they age than they had when, they had chocolate brown hair and, warm eyes. So as they've aged and they have a shock of white hair, actually there's more contrast created with their eyes and their skin and their hair than they were when they were younger. So they might move in towards, an autumn with a float to winter. So there can be big dramatic changes. These are definitely less frequently seen, I believe, based on my many years of color analysis. But they do happen, and more often than not, there's a more gradual change in color. And the case study I'm going to show you with my mother, you will see very, very clearly that there was a change in her colors over time as well. So dyeing hair is one of the big things. Changes in the skin tone as well. Now, my belief is that the undertone on the skin doesn't actually change. So if you're warm, you're not going to change to cool, or if you're cool, you're unlikely to change to warm. That is my belief. What dramatically changes is the hair color, and that can change the percentage of cool in the bigger picture of the whole color analysis, in the bigger picture of the face. So for instance, if somebody was autumn with warm eyes and warm hair and warm skin, and then they become gray, a cool gray, because there's warm grays and there's cool grays. If they become a very cool gray, the percentage of cool becomes much, much higher. So that will for sure change the color analysis, and they might look more like a winter. And they will be able to wear far higher contrast, and they will probably get away with a deep palette. But I don't think the warm completely disappears. I mean, that is my experience. I haven't seen somebody go from warm to cool. But if you feel like that's been something you've seen, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm just talking about my own experience of working with color analysis for many years. Antoinette, great to see you. My clients that have chosen not to color their hair and have gone white or gray, their colors have definitely changed. Yes, absolutely. So I do believe that hair color makes the biggest difference. And that's why I also believe that we should do a color analysis while the hair is visible. We have to code the person in front of us, not relying on their hair color from when they were 2 years old, or not completely covering their hair and just basing color analysis on the skin and the eye tone. I firmly believe in coding the person that's in front of us. Now, I also know people don't agree with that, but I stand by what I say. That's my method. That's how I teach, and that's what I do. Miss Pat is saying, I live in Malaysia, and my greatest challenge analyzing color is on Muslim women wearing a headscarf. How much am I missing in analyzing if I only refer to the face, eyebrows, eyes without the hair exposed? Well, I suppose at the end of the day, Miss Pat, it's up to your client. If they're happy to have their colors analyzed just based on their skin tone and their eyes and their eyebrows, I would work with that. But I would give them the option, would you like me to do a color analysis with your hair also? Because maybe in private or in family situations, they do actually remove the head scarf, etc. So I would be very open to how they want to work, and I would ask them, how do you want to work? So, because it's all about respecting our client and sending them away happy and giving them the best possible experience. It's absolutely not about us. And this is the problem I see with some of the dogma out there, is just this need for personal stylists to be 100% right, and there's only one way, and I see it this way, and that's the only way. And I don't agree with that kind of dogma. It's about our clients, and how can I send my client away as happy as possible? Veronica said, but if the hair is colored, it confuses the diagnostic. Again, I am a firm believer, you have to code the person in front of you, Veronica. You cannot work with information that you do not have. Sometimes it's very obvious that it's the wrong hair color, and you can guide them toward the right hair color. It's definitely something we do in our color analysis group. We have several hairstylists in there, and they help us in terms of what's possible with a particular hair color, because there are limitations on what can be done with hair color as well. So yes, I always advise code based on what's in front of you. You cannot work with information that's not true. But you can definitely, as you get more experience, uh, my view is that you can totally advise them to, go more cool or go more warm with their hair color. Okay, so at this point, what I would like to do is I would like to do a little example with my mom, who has very, very kindly allowed me to use her pictures. So this is my beautiful mom, who's been with me the whole way. She came and got her colors done with me the very first time I went and got my colors done. So we got our colors done together. And she very much looked like this when we went to get her colors done first. She has very dark hair. She has quite light skin, a kind of porcelain white skin. And she has very bright blue eyes, but they're winter eyes. They're not bright really. They're winter eyes with, I would say, the main characteristic that I often see in the winter eye. Now you can't really see it here, but the main characteristic that I see in the winter eye is it's the first thing you kind of see with the person, and there is a blue cast to the white in the eye. So my mother, when we were growing up, was an absolute winter. I'm going to show you a fan here. Maybe I'll stop for a minute, but this was her fan. This was my mom's fan when she got her colors done. It was a pure winter fan, and she suited the colors right out at the edge of this fan. Now, I love these fans. These are a Color Me a Season fan that I use here, and this is what I used in my business for many years. So I would have advised her to take these very deep, clear winter colors, jewel tone colors. She looked amazing in ruby red. She looks amazing. She looked amazing in sapphire. She looked amazing in those deep, clear colors of winter, what I would call jewel toned colors. But as she's aged, you can see she has changed quite significantly. These colors now would totally overwhelm her in a way. So this is the second picture here with the red hair. Is actually, we were on holidays in Menorca, and this is my son. He put this picture of my mom up on Facebook. She went crazy. So he took a picture of her and he put a flower on her head. It was some kind of app, and he put it up on Facebook. And you can see that there are many people who dye their hair this color, and they look completely different. She looked a lot brighter. I would have said at that point, if I was to color code her based on that color hair, she would probably have moved into the bright palette. Her eyes were very, very blue, and her hair was very, very red. So she would have looked like more like a bright, so maybe a winter with a flow to spring, I would have said. Still very clear, but very bright. So if in my system now, I would probably have given her a bright palette. And then this is my mom in 2019. This is when, a year after she recovered from breast cancer. So she got breast cancer when she was 75. Can you believe that? She got breast cancer when she was 75, and she got very, very ill. And she one of the things that I did when she was ill was I helped her to pick out, her head got really, really sensitive. And I helped her to pick out some, head covers during that period of time when she had no hair. And at that point, she definitely softened a lot. I was getting more cool colors for her. They were, if I looked at the fan, she was down here on the fan. She didn't have the crop of dark hair that I knew her for. She lost a lot of color out of her skin, so she was kind of very pale. So she dramatically softened. So I'm definitely moved down on the palette for her. And then when her hair grew back, it grew back curly. So she had really, really straight hair her whole life. and she grew back like really soft, curly gray hair. So it changed quite significantly again. It introduced a lot of texture. And again, she looked much, much softer. So at that point, she was in really the cool summer palette, I would say. She was wearing colors that were more like what I use in my palette. So the soft pink, baby blue. I got her a baby blue cashmere sweater. All of the colors started to go more towards the pastel baby blue colors. And this is my mom more recently. You can see she has fully recovered her health. She's in amazing health. She looks after my dad, who is 89. And her hair grew back kind of salt and pepper. Her hair grew back salt and pepper. And she's back into the winter palette actually. She looks and feels amazing now, and her hair is kind of salt and pepper. It's kind of a chocolate brown, black, and grey mixed, and she's definitely back into the winter colors, but she's still lower down on the palette, so she's not quite in. I think I have the summer colors here somewhere. Usually I have the summer colors here beside me. That's spring. That's not it. So these are the summer colors. You can see they're very, very pastel. So when just after the cancer, when her hair was still very, very new and curly and soft, I was giving her the summer colors, but then she moved here. So I would say she's down here on the lower part of the winter fan. So, one of the big considerations when you're actually doing a color analysis is to have fans that will accommodate this change or have a different fan. So I love these Color Me a Season fans because they have the gradient, from really dark to much lighter. On my digital palettes, I would probably have put my mom in a season winter to begin with. But later, I would probably put her in the cool palette. So I would put her on a tonal palette because it would suit her better now. And having that ability to adjust. Or the other thing is, my mom had a lot of winter colors in her wardrobe that she felt she couldn't wear anymore because, they were very bright and jewel toned, and she felt they took her over, which they do. But I've shown her how to soften them. So she can soften them with a scarf. You can see this scarf here. I helped her choose it. There's a wave in the scarf, and it's like a soft navy and white rather than pure black, because number one, it mirrored her curly hair in the curve, in the print. And also it softened the very dark coat that she was wearing. So having that ability to be able to help your clients to adjust their colors really is an amazing service that you can offer them, because after something like cancer, your client is going to feel very, very differently, and they're going to want to adjust what they're doing based on that. And having the ability to be able to provide that service to them is really kind of life-changing for them. I've been my mother's personal consultant for many years, and it's one of the things we really love to talk about together and enjoy together as well. So it's something you can do for your family as well, for your mom or whoever. And it's just a really nice gift to them and something really nice to be able to do. So this is more typically what I see happening. I see kind of a gradual loss of color and people moving down on their palette. So for instance, if it was a spring lady who was very, very bright and clear, and she starts to go gray, she will move down on her palette. So let me see, so in her yellows, she'll go from here and she'll just keep moving down the palette to get lighter and lighter. And that's really how people have changed. As I said, I do from time to time see people's level of contrast go up because of they have very dark eyes and dark skin maybe, and then they have this shock of white hair. So that will cause the contrast to go up. And Anyone who works with me knows that I work with contrast all the time. What is the level of contrast? My mum's level of contrast has gone down over time. My own level of contrast has gone down over time. So, I think it's really important to consider the level of contrast at any stage when you're doing color analysis. Danya said, thank your mum for sharing parts of her private life. Yes, she said it was okay to share here in the group, but not to share on Facebook. So please do not take any parts of this presentation and share it out of respect. Diana said, joined this late as I have gotten, so we'll catch up on the beginning. Skin tone color changes so much with age. I've noticed a pallor in some ladies over 70, which makes a big difference to their colors. Totally agree, Diana. And that's why I think, oftentimes the level of contrast can continue to go down. Now, of course, if they have dyed their hair a dark color and the level of contrast goes down, then or the level of color in the skin, they lose color in the skin, then the contrast will get higher. So they can make them look, much older than they actually are. So helping them to adjust their hair color as they lose the color in their skin can be very helpful as well. But typically, if they're allowing their hair to gray and they're going paler and paler, they are moving down on these scales that I'm showing here. So this is a spring palette that I'm holding up here. So they will go, from being able to wear, really bright reds, maybe down to much softer, pinks down here, looking far better on them. So that's really, really key, I would say. Let me stop this share so you can see more of me. I think it's really, really key that we, understand contrast. Contrast is very, very important because losing color out of the skin can increase the contrast or it can decrease the contrast. More commonly, it decreases the contrast, but it can increase the contrast. And that's, that may make them look even older. It may make them look less like themselves. So one of the ways that you can advise your clients is to say, have you considered maybe lightening your hair color a bit so you don't look so pale? So, it is a skill. It is really a skill, and we develop it through experience. And I know many of you on here are in my Certified Online Color Expert program. We do this kind of work in the group. And, I think it makes a huge difference. I've definitely had clients come back after their hair has gone gray. I've had clients come to me after cancer with the texture of their hair has changed. Maybe the texture of their skin has changed. That's the other thing that I didn't mention, but that's very important. The other thing that adjusts contrast is texture in the skin. So as we age, we have more wrinkles, so we have more texture. So that oftentimes changes the appearance as well. So we look more, we can look more muted. Who has written that now? Let me just go back to the group and see here. So Diana said, pale skin and light gray pale hair can make women look like they are merging into very light colors and disappear. So yeah, it will come down to personality, Diana. And I think, one of the services you provide is makeup. One of the ways that we can add a little bit more color back into our clients is to show them how to adjust their makeup as well. And again, it's working with the individual clients. Some clients are perfectly happy, to look gentler and softer. Other clients, they want to retain some of the color of their youth. So you help them to do that. You help them to put color back into their hair. You help them to put color back into their skin, and you help them to adjust the colors in their palette. So again, you work with the client one-on-one, ask them, what is it you miss about being younger? What do you love about your hair going lighter? I know personally, I'm really enjoying that my hair is lighter now. I'm just enjoying that, I have more versatility with the color I can put in my hair. I'm enjoying the change, so I get to play with more colors. So there is no one size fits all. And this is, I suppose, where experience comes in, Diana. There is no one size fits all. We have to listen to the client very, very carefully. We have to understand their needs and we have to work with them. So when I see this rubbish on social media of this person can only fit in this season and this is wrong and this is right, I just say, poppycock. It doesn't really interest me. What I'm interested in is sending the client away really, really happy with the colors that you give them, feeling more confident in themselves and being able to go back out there in the world again. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to share with you this morning. I remind you again that I have a couple of things going on. I have the AICI styling event going on next Wednesday. The details for that are here in the group, so you can go in there and have a look at that. It is a paid event, but your return on investment will be excellent. And then the other event I have is my Get More Color Analysis clients coming up in April. I have put the link underneath this video in the comments. I will also put it around this video somewhere if you're watching it somewhere else. Thank you to everyone who participated this morning. I really appreciate it. If you're watching this on replay, #replay, you can still put your questions in here. I will come back and have a look. And with that, I will wish you all a brilliant weekend ahead. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch up with you all again next week. All going well. Take care, everyone. Bye.